They are doing this and they're acting like, well, we've all agreed on it. We think it's a good idea. Bullshit. It's the only way Donald Trump and his stupid, incompetent advisors can come up with a way to cover his ass.
Yeah, they have been trying their damnness to get out of this since it was first brought up last year. They delayed the vote for as long as they possibly could. Then once the numbers weren't in their favor, they passed the bill to, release the files. They slow roll the release of the files as long as they can. They send Blanche out there to Ghislaine to preface this part. They've been jumping through hoops in a lab somewhere trying to figure out the way to solve this equation. And now they figured out their answer. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Trey.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Back at it with another video.
Another one.
First and foremost, thanks to everybody that's been subscribing to the channel. Obviously, I'm a new YouTuber, and it really means a lot. It's helping me to grow, so I appreciate the love and support. But if y'all are first-time viewers, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't cost you anything, and it really helps me out. Today, we're going to be reacting to a video coming out of the I've Had It podcast. And they are, going into some of the latest reporting, talking about the Ghislaine Maxwell situation, and the fact that the Trump administration has pretty much come out and they're saying, hey, we are not completely against offering up, some sort of deal in exchange for testimony and stuff like that. So we'll let them explain everything, and I'll weigh in from time to time. But yeah, that's the way we're going to set this one up. Let's get into the video.
Are probably going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell because there's one thing we know about MAGA. There's one thing we know about MAGA Christians. They are supporters of child. They have proven it time and time and time again. The Epstein cover-up has never been more clear, as Republicans are now saying they are open to pardoning convicted trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell. Pop this up. Oversight Chair James Comer told me members of his panel are open to a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell so that she would share info with Congress. Robert,
do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man.
And I think it's obviously important that we share this with as many people as possible, because they are setting us up for the play right now, right? They're saying, they've already had Todd Blanche go out there and meet with Ghislaine, I don't know how to say her name, but they've already had him go out there, meet with her alone, no cameras, no nothing. Obviously, she's in prison. He's the lawyer. They get attorney-client privilege. But he's already done that. And as a result of that, she gets moved to the cushy prison. She gets puppies, play video games, life meals, better meals, and all that good stuff. Now they're saying, oh, yeah, they might potentially give her a deal in exchange for a testimony. And when all of this plays out, all it's going to be is her coming out, pointing the finger at Trump's enemies that are in the files, and saying that the people that are his friends that are in the files didn't do anything. Like they were just friends with Jeffrey and they just showed up at these parties, but they weren't a part of anything. And if people have the audacity to think we're dumb enough to fall for that, well, I know there's a large population of people that will fall for it, but that is the grift, that is the play. If this was really potentially a thing that they were entertaining and that she was going to talk, that should have been one of the first things they did when they're talking, when public was demanding answers on the Epstein files and stuff like that. Then they should have came out with, hey, we're willing to offer her immunity for her testimony. They didn't do that because all the while they've been behind the scenes trying to figure out a way to dig themselves out of this hole. And now this is what they've come up with. We cannot allow them to get away with this shit. We got to keep our foot on their neck. sorry to go on a long rant, but this shit really pisses me off because I could see them trying to play this out this way.
Robert Garcia said the move would be disrespectful to Epstein's victims. Plus, all Dems opposed it. Josh.
So you can see, and we talked about this the other day, this seed has been planted for this, right? I mean, it's been subtly brought up, and you see the connection between her lawyer, I believe it's Mr. Marcus, and Todd Blanche and their relationship. And of course, we know Todd Blanche going and seeing her last summer. But this doesn't come as a surprise. It's certainly not fair. But the part that Trump is going to have to decide upon, and he's got a pretty good track record for this, but Trump always makes calculated risk. He's notorious for that. He'll make a decision, and there'll be a lot of blowback to it. But it's because he thinks that decision and the net effect benefits him. In this case, it's no different. Whatever it is, Miss Maxwell knows, whatever it is she can say, whatever harm could be brought to him, Trump is making a calculated decision that I will fade the heat for granting her a pardon. I'll fade that. I want to get Congress to give me some cover on it, like they're doing right now. But I'll fade that heat because in his mind, with whatever she can say, it benefits him. There's a net effect for him. And that's exactly what's going on here. Now, it's outrageous. It's from a law enforcement perspective, you've got this woman convicted and sentenced to 20 years. And the reason why they're going to pardon or grant her clemency is because they want her to share information to Congress. That's why you get out of serving a 20-year sentence. That makes zero fucking sense. 0 cents.
And what reason, like, why would she be honest? Like, why would we believe her at this point? At this point, with everything that we know that has been released, how could she be deemed credible?
She's a co-conspirator. Okay, so unless she's going to bring about 8 or 10 or 12 other guys to the table that did this with him, there would be zero incentive to give her clemency or a pardon. Go ahead, Pumps. I'm sorry.
No. I interrupted you. Here's the thing. Here's what she brings to the table. She can go in there and name all the co-conspirators, but she will expressly not name Donald Trump. And that is what they're after. They want to run cover so that they can get her in front of Congress and she can say, Donald Trump had nothing to do with it. And then they can take that and run. This is 100% to cover Donald Trump's ass. And if people are not screaming, particularly MAGA, who's so worried about pedophilia rings and grooming, they are doing this and they're acting like, well, we've all agreed on it. We think it's a good idea. Bullshit. It's the only way Donald Trump and his stupid, incompetent advisors can come up with a way to cover his ass.
Yeah, they have been trying their damnness to get out of this since it was first brought up last year. They delayed the vote for as long as they possibly could. Then once the numbers weren't in their favor, they passed the bill to, release the files. They slow roll the release of the files as long as they can. They send Blanche out there to Ghislaine to preface this part. They've been jumping through hoops in a lab somewhere trying to figure out the way to solve this equation. And now they figured out their answer.
That's
right.
right.
I just want to say it's not just Donald Trump's ass. He is
especially because Melania just got hit. Her friend just outed her to the world and doing these interviews. So they need a silver bullet, you know what I'm saying, to get this thing wrapped up and out of here as soon as possible.
on the record saying he does not want these files released because it will hurt a lot of his friends. And so the names that will be dribbled out by Ghislaine Maxwell will be approved names via, and this is just my opinion, Todd Blanche and Donald Trump.
Yeah, and I think the bottom line here is there's a lot of different ways to interpret this, but the bottom line here is that Trump wants to control how this information from Maxwell is disseminated. He wants the control of that. He wants to know the content of it. And then if it cuts against him, he wants to control what she says and muzzle her. and use the pardon to do that. And if she has to sit in prison and say, listen, I'm going to go before Congress, I'm going to lie, I'm going to say that Donald Trump had nothing to do with this, I'm going to say that these Democrats did, I'm going to say whatever it is I have to say to get out of fucking prison, because that's what people do that are serving 240 months in the Bureau of Prisons. They get up there and say whatever the fuck they have to say.
Man, it's nothing but facts, man. Like, that is what people, criminals especially,
to get out of the Bureau of Prisons. This is easy. It's a no-brainer.
So I just want to remind you guys, Maxwell recruited and groomed underage girls as young as 14 to be sexually abused by Jeffrey Epstein and his associates. And a lot of the survivors said they feel more betrayed by Maxwell because she used a maternal, like woman to woman, and they preyed on poor girls. And so MAGA is not only a party of child supporting and enabling and covering up child. They are very much an anti-marginalized party too. If you're poor, if you're a poor girl, then you're worthy of us protecting these elites over your poor ass. Multiple Epstein survivors testified that she participated in the abuse herself. She used existing victims to lure in new ones, creating a network of recruiters. She lied repeatedly under oath to help Epstein evade accountability. She never acknowledged the harm she caused and continues to call herself a scapegoat. And I just want to say this to all the white MAGA Christian women out there that have children. Your continuing support of Donald Trump because you think your vote is going to help your husband not pay as many taxes and you might get the handbag you want. You are supporting child pedophilia. It is the most disgusting thing. There is such a brand damage that we have to do to these Christian nationalists, to these MAGA Christians, because it's such a fucking lie that they are so pro-child and so pro-family. You have Katie Miller out there saying teen pregnancy rates are down. Well, is it any surprise that Katie Miller says that and then she supports this pedophilic president? No, those things live in the same house. Here is Robert Garcia. I'll get you in just a second, Josh. Here's Robert Garcia responding to all of this. Pop this up. That would be a huge step backwards and, quite frankly, so disrespectful to the survivors. She is a known abuser. She is a known liar. If the DOJ or oversight Republicans are out there trying to negotiate some sort of pardon, that is not only a huge slap in the face to this investigation, to anyone, to the American public, he added, it's part of a massive cover-up.
Let me just say that quote right there, that's about 1 million times softer than it needs to be for what they're doing. And this is a layup for Democrats. So you've got members of Congress.
And it's just one of many, one of many more corrupt things that they're involved in. They are checking all the boxes of the evil empire, man.
On the Republican side, basically saying that, hey, we're leaning toward pardoning this child sex trafficker who's a co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein so that we can learn information. If you can't take that and club them upside the head and message that and prevail, then we're fucked. Okay. Then it's FUCKED ! We're fucked. Okay. So let's get someone competent that can take a picture of these clowns in Congress or Donald Trump or whoever and associate that with child pedophilia. Okay, this isn't hard. Okay, and you message that and you say, who cares about kids? And look at what they're doing, because there's no way to explain this. If people track this story and follow it and read it, there's no way to explain it.
And this comes after Maxwell sent the DOJ a motion to vacate her 20-year sentence. Let's pop this up. Scott McFarland posts, Justice Department has just received a USB drive with filings by Ghislaine Maxwell, which includes an amended motion to vacate her criminal conviction and prison sentence. Trump admin prosecutor says arguments appear duplicative and meritless. Pumps.
I just think that if we go back in the long history of how the Epstein files have unfolded, we saw the drawing of Donald Trump in the birthday book for Jeffrey Epstein. He said it wasn't, he didn't do it. He would never do that. And then we learn from very reliable sources, Ghislaine Maxwell is sending those. In my mind, Ghislaine Maxwell gets all this shit together. She sends it to the DOJ, and there's other shit that she wants to make sure the Department of Justice knows that she has, so that we can get a pardon moving. Her impatience at being with, in a white collar criminal camp that she is not allowed to be in as a sex offender that Todd Blanche put her in. I believe this is her saying, time's up. I want more.
And the DOJ is now led by the man who interviewed Maxwell last year. Todd Blanche is who I'm talking about, and said this when asked if he'd release the Epstein files that Pam Bondi refused to. So this is Todd Blanche. He's the one who went and met with Ghislaine Maxwell by himself. No witnesses, no note-taking, no recordings. Play the clip.
You said this is the end of the Epstein, of your review of the Epstein files. So just to clarify, is the public going to learn the identities of the men who abused the girls with the information that you're releasing? And if not, why not? And then I have a quick follow-up.
Are you serious?
I mean, you just baked in an assumption into your question that I have never said and I don't know to be true. Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like, what does that mean? I mean, I don't understand what that means.
What?
Well, I mean, they're the men who abused the young women through Epstein's.
Look, we said in July, and it remains as true today as it was in July. If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice, about men who abused women, we would prosecute them, right? We talked about
But they definitely have that. They definitely have that. The names have been redacted. We've seen it. You have it. You haven't released it all to us, but you have it.
work that we're doing. That's why I said that. I said this earlier. There's this built-in assumption that somehow there's this hidden tranche of information of men that we know about that we're covering up or that we're choosing not to prosecute. That is not the case. I don't know whether there are men out there that abuse.
I've heard enough. Josh, you have practiced law, criminal defense law. How extraordinary and breathtaking is it to hear the acting attorney general speak this way about sex crimes to children?
It's bizarre, and it tells us one thing. So the fix is in here. Okay, this deputy AG that was Trump's personal lawyer, that used to be a criminal defense lawyer, who's also good friends with Miss Maxwell's lawyer, Mr. Marcus. The fix is in here, and so it's these guys know each other, and they're fading heat right now, and they're waiting for the appropriate time to do this. And we see today that Congress is laying the groundwork and kind of planting that seed with the public that, hey, this is a possibility. It's unheard of, and it's like I said earlier, if we can't take this. If we can't take this and make this a campaign message about Republicans and their family values and all of their bullshit, then we're in big trouble. And it's disgusting. It's sickening to see. I don't know how else to describe it other than this is a layup for Democrats.
So we're going to stop this one here because I don't want to take this one long, but definitely, obviously this is just a snippet from the whole clip. So if y'all want to see the whole thing, go to the I've Had It podcast. They continue to break down. They continue to go into a lot more. It's wild. It's wild that they're even trying to get this off. You can see all the signs that they're prepping to set us up for this okie doke, and in the hopes that we'll take it and believe it. And yes, make sure that y'all spread the word that this is the play that is being made in front of our face. Again, if y'all learned something from the video, make sure y'all share the video with your people. Keep the information flowing. Keep the conversation going. And until next time, I'll holla at you.
I don't think you wanna be my enemy. I pop out, they go wild, so celebrity. Too busy winning, I forgot that I got frenemies.